My landlord evicted me to sell my apartment to a developer. He didn't know the developer worked for me. In fact, he had no idea that I owned the entire company that was about to buy his building. And when I walked into that boardroom to reveal the truth, his face was priceless. This is the story of how I went from being a powerless tenant to becoming my landlord's worst nightmare. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll understand why karma sometimes wears a business suit. My name is Marcus. And until 6 months ago, I thought I was just another struggling tenant in New York City. I lived in apartment 4B at 147 Riverside Drive. Rent controlled. $800 a month. In Manhattan. Yes, you heard that right. $800. It was a tiny studio. Maybe 400 square feet. But it had character. Original hardwood floors. Exposed brick walls. Windows facing the Hudson River. Most importantly, it was mine. Or at least, it felt like mine. I'd lived there for 3 years. Ever since graduating college. Working as a graphic designer. Making just enough to survive in the city. The building was pre-war. Built in 1924. Full of history. Full of stories. Full of tenants who'd been there for decades. Mrs. Rodriguez in 2A had lived there since 1987. Mr. Kim in 3C raised 2 kids in his 1-bedroom. Sarah from 4A was a struggling actress who'd called a home for 5 years. We were a community. A family. We looked out for each other. But our landlord, Vincent Torino, saw us differently. He saw us as obstacles. Vincent was everything you'd expect from a slumlord. Cheap suits. Gold chains. Greasy hair slicked back. He drove a Mercedes but never fixed our broken heating. He wanted us gone. All of us. So he could renovate and charge market rate. Market rate for our apartments would be $4,000 a month. Maybe $5,000. Our rent-controlled leases were costing him millions in potential income. So Vincent got creative. And by creative, I mean cruel. The harassment started small. Sudden inspections at inconvenient times. Maintenance requests that took months to complete. Noise complaints that resulted in threatening letters. Then it escalated. Our heat would mysteriously break in winter. The elevator would be under repair for weeks. Construction work would start at 6 a.m. on Saturdays. Vincent was trying to make our lives so miserable that we'd leave voluntarily. Some tenants cracked. Mrs. Peterson in 1B moved out after her 3rd flood from plumbing issues. The young couple in 3B left when their ceiling collapsed twice in 1 month. But the core group of us held strong. We knew our rights. We documented everything. We fought back through proper channels. Vincent hated us for it. "You people are bleeding me dry," he'd scream during tenant meetings. "This building is worth millions, and you're living here for peanuts." He wasn't wrong about the value. Our building sat on prime Manhattan real estate. The neighborhood was gentrifying fast. Luxury condos were popping up everywhere. But we had legal protections. Rent control laws. Tenant rights. Long-term leases that couldn't be broken without cause. Vincent needed a different strategy. That strategy arrived in the form of Meridian Development Group. I first heard the name during a tense tenant meeting in March. "I've got some news," Vincent announced with a smug smile. "I'm selling this building." The room erupted. Tenants shouting questions. Demanding explanations.